Hello, welcome in. My name is Dwayne Campbell, and today we're going to talk about 3 ways on how to overcome fear based on my experience. So, the first way that I want to share with you is to be honest, being transparent, and not being silent. Now, when we do these 3 things, we're honest, we're transparent, and when we don't remain silent, that is freeing in itself. It frees us. It's one of the first steps toward victory into actually overcoming the fear that we're dealing with. Now, so fear wants to control us. It wants us to remain hostage. It wants us to remain captive. It wants to dominate us our entire life. Now, one of the things that I deal with is when we talk about a fear that we're dealing with, I want you to think about it like it's a doorway, right? Or it's an entrance into your entire life. So a lot of times when we're dealing with a fear, that is just a doorway or a passageway into fear actually controlling our entire life. It can bleed over into other areas, and I do not want that to happen to you. So I want to give you some tools, some techniques on how I was able to overcome my fear in hopes that it will help you overcome the fear that you're dealing with. Now, one of the first things I want to share is I had to change my language about it. And I didn't realize that I was saying it was my fear. It's a fear that I'm dealing with. It's mine. No, it is not mine. Right? It was not mine. I didn't realize that. Right? It is not yours. So I want you to change your language about that because our words are very powerful. So what I simply say now, it is a fear that I was dealing with or a fear that I'm dealing with. I don't think I have any now, thankfully. So I want to help you with that. Now, so the thing that we need to know about fear is that when we break the silence, right? We gain a voice. And not only do we gain a voice, your victory voice is very loud. And I want to help you turn up the volume even more. So let's think about it. When we think about our sports teams, the team that you love, the basketball, football team, or whatever, right? When our team is winning, what are we doing? Oh my God, we're jumping, we're dancing, we're high-fiving strangers that we don't know. We're doing a lot of things, right? Now, on the flip side of that, when our team is losing, what do? We're mad, we get in fights, we do all of these crazy things, right? We use language that we shouldn't, and we're for the most part, silent, right? It's not the same. So that is what fear does to you. Fear wants to make you lose. It wants to take the volume of your voice away. And I do not want that to happen to you. So I want you to be that person that's cheering and jumping up and down. Why? Because you overcame the fear that you've been dealing with. Now, the other thing that I want to share with you is that fear can affect others in your life when we don't when we're not honest, when we're not transparent, and when we remain silent. It can affect the others in my life. That was my case. So I did not tell my wife or my children about my traumatic experience when I was younger. All I told them is that I'm not a swimmer. I don't like to swim. That wasn't the case. I renamed it. I called it something else, right? So when I was up on that cliff and I decided to overcome the fear that I was dealing with, my wife didn't even know. Why? Because I did not tell her why I didn't like to swim, just that I didn't like to swim. Okay, I love being around the water. I would play in the water, but I would only go in the 3 and 4 foot because my feet had to touch the bottom of the swimming pool. So I wanted to overcome that. And I said, when I go on vacation to Hawaii, I'm going to jump in the ocean. We're going to be done with this. So I YouTubed a video on how to swim. I practiced for 3 or 4 weeks. and to learn it. Now I wasn't swimming good. I was horrible, y'all. But I was able to manage well enough to stay above, water. And I finally jumped. Now it took me a while to be able to do it because I did not realize how deeply that thing was rooted in me. Okay, I didn't realize it. So after I did it, we got back home. I put the video on Facebook. I didn't want to do it. My wife said, "Oh, you need to put this on Facebook." I'm like, I am not putting that on Facebook because I looked horrible. I'm not going to do that. She said, "Oh, you got to." Now, you understand, my wife's an introvert. I'm an extrovert. And it took me about 5 years to get her on Facebook. And now she's telling me to put a video of me up on Facebook. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. So anyway, it went viral. It's got over 1 million views and it's still going. But I did not want to share that because I felt like I looked silly. Okay. And I'm like, I'm not going to put this up. People are just going to laugh. But I did not realize how many people that I was able to help and inspire. I mean, I had people inboxing me. Got so many hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, I think even thousands of friend requests now, that because of that. And I want to share this one story with you. It is so touching. I literally had tears in my eyes when I read it. So a lady inboxed me. I think she was from Australia, I believe. And she said to me, she said, I was in a car accident with my family when I was little. And I said I would never drive again. She's 65 years old now. And she said after watching the video, she now wants to go get her driver's license. Can you believe that? And I'm like, just because I decided that I wanted to overcome something that had been stopping me, it inspired somebody. And there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of testimonies like that I got in my inbox and on the comments, for people who wanted to make it change because they saw me do it. Okay. So your victory affects, when we're talking about fear, it affects other people. When we overcome it, it affects them positively. When we don't, it affects them negatively. Now, here's what my daughter said. This blew me away. Here's what my daughter said. When I told her that I had overcome the fear of drowning and swimming, she was like, Dad, why did you do that? You can't swim. I said, no, it's okay. I learned how, but she said, you used to take us to the ocean when we were little, but you would never get in. She was reiterating, you don't like the water. You don't like to swim. Well, it wasn't that. It was I wasn't being honest about it, right? Now, here is what I heard when she said that, because I was listening as a father. So even though she said it like that, I heard it differently. I heard that you allowed fear to rob you and someone that you love of a lifelong, unerasable memory. That is what fear can do. Because again, it wants to grip us. It wants to dominate our entire life. So I do not want that to be your case. I do not want that to happen to you. Okay? So let me share a couple more things and I'll end this video, and then we'll go into the second and the third. Okay? So one of the things that I did not know about when it comes to overcoming fear, when we are transparent and when we're honest and when we're not silent, we gain community. Oh, we gain community. When I was up on that cliff and the people around me saw that I was struggling to get off of it and jump in the ocean. Now, I didn't have a fear of heights. Some of them thought I was that. No, it's just that, I was rehearsing all of this that had gone on, and I saw myself going in. That was the easy part. But my struggle was seeing myself coming out. All right. So I had to basically, and I told my wife, I said, I got to get my mind right. I had to see myself coming out. Right. So I had to imagine myself swimming out of the water. And they saw me struggling with that, and they began to cheer me on. They began to give me instructions on how to do it. Instantly, I had gained a community. And I want you to know that is going to be the same case with you. I know some of you feel like you're all alone, that you don't have any help. And sometimes we even want to try to just do things by ourselves. But that is so not right. Okay, so one of the things that I talk about in my book, Next Level Life, which is going to be out in the next 3 or 4 months, one of the things that I talk about is that in life, when it's time for us to make next level moves, sometimes we develop what I call the island syndrome. Okay, so now we can share and overshare our lives on social media with total strangers, right? People that we don't know. But when it's time for us to overcome a fear or make the next level move in our business, relationship, and family, whatever the case may be, we tend to want to become an island. Yeah, we want to do it all by ourselves. My brothers and sisters, that is not the case. Because even in the Bible, God shows us what community looks like. If we just look in the first chapter of Genesis, God, who is the self-existing one, the essence of life, the essence of spirit, the essence of wisdom, he's everything. He showed us that even he did not do anything absent of his community. What do you mean? Well, in verse number 2, it says, the earth was void without form, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Then the Spirit of God hovered over the face of the waters. So God wanted something changed. He wanted it transformed. But he decided not to speak to it until his community came in, the Godhead. And then down in verse 26, he said, let us make man. Who is us? The Godhead. Right? So my friends, I want to share with you that when it comes to us overcoming fear or whatever it is that we want to do on another level, there is community available for us. Now, I love this saying that I saw one time. It says, team, T period E period A period. Together, everyone achieves more. Okay, so don't become a loner. Don't become an island. In agreement, we all advance. All right. So thank you guys so much for watching this first video. So we want to share more tools, tips, and techniques on how you can actually overcome fear. All right. I want you to subscribe to this channel. You can like it or comment below. And you can also follow me on Facebook on my public figure page, Dwayne Campbell. All right. Thank you so much for watching. God bless. Bye now.